All right, so I already gave you a hint as to what happens to your heart as you do endurance exercise. So one thing that we're going to do, we have to be able to, if we're going to increase our VO2 max as we train, there was the possibility of increasing heart rate. Well, because we have to increase our cardiac output. So we can either increase heart rate or we can increase stroke volume. And what we end up doing is we end up doing what's called a volume overload in the heart. Our heart gets bigger. The increased volume from our exercise is going to make our heart bigger. So if you're a normal individual, you beat out, each time you contract your heart, it beats out about 70 milliliters of blood. And you're going to do that 70 times a minute. And that's going to give you 70 times 70. That's going to give you 1,400, so 1.5-ish liters of blood per minute. Okay? But now, when you do endurance exercise, what happens is you increase how big the heart is. You can see that now we can, instead of holding 70 mils, we can hold 100 mils. And so now we can get this 100 milliliters in the heart because it's bigger, it's volume overload. There's a bigger volume. The other thing that happens is if you look at the wall of the heart here, the wall of this heart is bigger than the wall of this heart. And that's because what's happened is the muscle, just like when we work out our skeletal muscle and we do lifting heavy weights, our muscle gets bigger. So when we work out our heart by doing endurance exercise, our heart muscle gets bigger. And it doesn't just get bigger as the whole chamber, it actually gets thicker. And that thickness is important because what happens is you pump out the exact same percentage of the blood that goes into the heart before and after. So if you're a control person, 12 weeks later after doing endurance exercise for 12 weeks, you can pump out more blood because the volume of your heart is bigger. You've got a little bit thicker heart muscle. And so when you pump it out, you're still pumping out 80+% of the blood that's in there. And so that means you're going to get more blood flow out into your body. Now here's the question. If we need 1.5 liters of blood per minute, and we get this increase in our heart size, what then happens at rest? Do we increase the amount of, do we keep our heart rate the same, or do we decrease our heart rate?